So Amanda, we have 6 minutes to start. Would you like for us to zoom around the collection before we
so
start?
I can kind of guide you. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Okay. How do we switch to that camera? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
That one, and so you can just walk this one around.
Okay.
I got plenty of cable there, hopefully, to get.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh, there. Good.
No, that's the mic. Okay.
No, I'll make sure I don't trip on this. Yeah. Okay. So this is the classroom side of the collection.
Okay.
And you can see here we have what we call the cage. We're going to go into the cage in just a moment, but oh. And so this is entering into the cage.
Okay.
And I'm just going to kind of go around so that you can see.
Okay.
So these are all facing the north wall.
Okay.
You see we have some instruments here on the table. We've got large oath taker figures. And this is still sort of running around the north wall. And then, would this be the east? East, yeah. Then this is the east wall, or
Okay.
east, facing east. And this would be those facing the south.
Right. Okay.
Let me go around here. Maybe I can get a better view. You can see they are not organized. They're just organized by accession number, which is kind of organized by country, but not entirely. So we do have some objects that might even be from rival communities for all we know, because that's still ongoing research.
Yes.
Next to each other or nearby on shelves. We haven't had anything happen recently, but we've had instances, I think I've told you about, like the flood, and then we've had objects just kind of fall mysteriously and with no real explanation. We've had, movement but not a whole lot, as you had asked about since we placed the altar.
Okay. Then what it's telling me is they're just wanting to be recognized and respected. They don't expect you to, I don't feel like they expect you to recognize who they are, or exactly how to work with them. Does that make sense? But
I just wanted to show you the altar real quick that we have that you had advised us. So we've got 2 bowls of water over here, some fake ceramic fruit. We've got a light over here, a little tea light that we can turn on. And then the gallery assistants will, like, once a week change out to, an apple or an orange.
right.
Can you see that? Or
I can.
Okay.
What I would suggest is put like each of the elements on that table.
okay.
And you're gonna, it'll be like a representation of bringing in the elements, because they are very elemental. I mean, they do work with the natural forces of the earth and of the universe. I mean, that's what they did. So recognizing, and I mean, they don't fully like, have you studied any of the European traditions at all?
I mean, probably
the
just reading
Orisha,
different provenance.
like the Orisha.
Well, just reading different provenance of the objects, not really extensively. So if you want.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking is because there's like some elements go with different, like Orisha, and or which are spirits of the European tradition. If you do find out that you do have things that are with like warring tribes or different regions, then I would move them, because I do feel like that's some of the conflict. Just because, you know, these are tied to spirits, some of these objects. The protectors, the ones right here, I don't know,
Okay.
the big tall ones.
Yeah.
Those are I believe Nakisis.
Okay.
And the only reason why I know that is because of the nails. There's purpose in those.
Uh-huh.
So um that's about all I can say or divulge. But I mean, they are protectors, they are guardians, they have purpose for them. And actually probably everything in this collection probably does. So you've got a lot of energy. I will tell you, I don't feel like they like the plastic too well, but it's all right. It's tolerable, and it's for purpose. So it's plastic.
Yeah, usually the plastic is completely covered. We opened it just for fun. Usually cover it's completely like a curtain over it, just so that we can protect them from dust.
Mhm. I can't hear you, hun. It's really, really muffled. So,
Oh, let me go back over here. I was saying we usually have the shelves covered with a plastic like a curtain.
okay.
And we do that. We have to do that though for conservation, preservation reasons, to
That's
protect
what
them from
I'm-
dust and
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. So, I mean, it's fine. They're just like, it's kind of like a little of annoyance. Does that make sense? Because it's just plastic is
Mhm.
plastic. It's restrictive. So
Okay. Okay.
that's it.
And so we did get extra, so we have the objects that you recommended for the cleanse, but we went ahead and got an extra stick, an extra rock, an extra feather so that we could put it on the altar.
Okay, good.
Just want to let you know. But
Awesome. If
we
you
ready?
want to,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to listen to what I'm getting. Okay. They want me to have you ceremonially like put them in each direction. We'll start in the north. After we do like a prayer to the Great Spirit to just ask to hold space and to protect and only allow that is good. That is in harmony, because there's a lot of energy in that room. I mean, just to look, I was like, good Lord. I was like, no wonder why you guys are having things move and, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're ready to get started with the talk before the cleanse. And then once we get to the cleanse part, we do have 3 participants to help assist you with that. So I'm going to do a brief introduction because some of the individuals here have not. We're not.
Okay. Let me get the presentation up. Where did it go? Okay. Can you guys see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
So welcome to the MSSU African Art Collection room. We are here to participate in a discussion, as you can see here by Amanda Keith. And to follow the discussion will be a cleansing of the collection. Mambo Amanda is a priestess in Haitian voodoo. She is also a conjure woman and initiate in the Temple of Witchcraft. She is the co-owner of Three Crows Conjure, an online store dedicated to handmade hoodoo products. She also directs the Occult Masterclass, an online learning platform for occult topics. She traveled to Haiti in 2018 and was initiated into the Asan tradition of Haitian voodoo. She has been teaching the occult to others since 2007. So we want to welcome Amanda.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Dr. Christine Bentley. Thank you for having me in general. So we're going to be talking about spiritual cleansing. Yeah, and basically I will tell you today, we're going to cleanse, but really what we're going to be doing today is just honoring the spirits that are connected to these objects in these rooms, and just to bring in peace and balance. So, and try to have harmony going on. Because I mean, a lot of these objects were made and created for either specific purposes or even for magical uses. So it is important, as a magical or occult practitioner, to cleanse. Okay. So, because everything is energy, it's really kind of important to be aware of what energy you're allowing in and what is not. So do you guys, I'm asking Dr. Bentley, do you guys ever get led to move particular objects? Like you're like, you know what, I get this feeling like this needs to be moved. Like, do you ever get that? Like when you're personally working with it?
I think that right now we have them fairly strictly organized according to a session number, but there have been moments where I'm not sure that I made that direct connection of moving for like a spiritual or energy reason, but we have moved objects because I'm looking to Tracy and then Maggie because they're in here probably more than I am at this point. There have been moments where I would say we've moved objects just because maybe we didn't know why.
Right. Well, you felt led to do it. And that's usually that little nudge that kind of leads you in. So spiritual cleansing, why is it important? Spiritual cleansing is important for so many reasons. First, it's being that it purifies your body, your soul, your mind, your sacred space of negative energies or even lower vibrations. Energy can get stagnant. It can get caught in corners. So it's important to make sure that, the energy is staying good no matter where you're at. And especially for objects like these are sacred. These are, some of it's just art. Some of it is magical. Like I said, some they were built with purpose. So you have to be mindful. And there are some objects that there are spirits on there. And if there's spirits on there, you've got to make sure that a lot of them kind of go to sleep unless they have a practitioner that knows how to work with them. Okay. And so they kind of stay dormant unless something's wrong or something's not like there's something bugging them. So that's why sometimes you may get nudged or you feel led. You just get this urge like, oh my gosh, okay, for some reason, I feel like I need to move this and we'll reorganize the collection. That's what you get. Or sometimes you're like, oh, I need to dust. I didn't realize I need to dust, but you have the plastic. So that helps as well. Our cells in our home need to be regularly cleansed for this main reason. That's why we clean our homes. That's why, but a lot of people don't talk about it. We just think, oh my God, we just, you think you don't want the dust. You don't want to have, dirt and everything in your house. But that's really what it is. If you really think about it, you want that clean energy. You want all the dirt and grime out. In addition to getting rid of negative energies, spiritual cleansings also purify one's aura and space of any negative energy that may be hanging around. We're meeting people, we're interacting. Well, I could say since COVID, not so much, but we do still interact, even if it's at a distance. Secondly, many of the ancient spirits you may want to work with may require you and your space to be purified before they will even give you a glance. And I will tell you, the Rada Lewa, they love clean. The Lewa, they love cleanly. I mean, they're all about clean. And particularly, Matrice Mambo Amanda, the homemade, she's very stickler. I mean, she is, I guess a lot of people like to equate her as like with love and luxury. She's very high class. She's very, who she is, which is very opposite of her sister, usually Dantor, which Mama Danto, she is very very motherly, but she's not as, you know, she just, to her, it's almost like she needs the basics, if that makes sense. So, but they do like cleanliness. So that helps. And plus, you know, with energy, you want to keep the vibrations up and high. So like in the mornings, because of what I do, I will cleanse with frankincense and myrrh. Those help balance out. They're very masculine and feminine properties. They work well together and will cleanse the space of all negativity, all ill will, all stagnant energy, any spirits that don't need to be welcome, because, you know, things come and go. So self-cleansing rituals that you can do. Some can be as simple as using some Florida water like I have here. This is Florida water. It's used to cleanse and to attract high vibrations and to keep good energy in the house. Literally, you can, I do this like after readings, I'll put some in my hand. It can be as simple as that. And just patting yourself over the head, the neck, your palms, and just like wherever you feel led. You can do that. That's a simple, that's a cleanse. Burning incense is a really gentle way of cleansing a room, or even diffusing like lavender. But that's also a little bit, I think, in the next slide. But there are many different ways to spiritually cleanse oneself of negative energies. Also, most use one or more of the main elements: earth, air, fire, water, and purifying. Why use the elements? Well, they're the natural forces of the earth, of the universe. So you automatically have water elements, such as water, such as holy water, such as Florida water, which is a cologne. You have rose water even. Rose is a high vibration herb that a lot of people use, and they don't, and I mean, they cook with. They don't even know that. Rose is all about beauty and luxury, and I mean, and love. And love is what the epitome of high vibrations. Everybody wants that unconditional love. So you have that. You have fire, like lighting a candle, or even you can use representations like a wand, like in witchcraft, they use a wand as a representation. Some can use like a whip as like that if you think about the actions of that, it's very quick. So a whip can either be used for fire or it could be used for air. I wouldn't be using a whip right now in this collection, but that gets energy stirring. So, or rattles. Okay, I have my Gorg rattle right here that in the Haitian tradition, they call it a kwakwa. It's for the petrol, to help summon the petrol. But some, and you have to understand there's different traditions in different ways in Haiti. Some is the Assan tradition, where you'll see the Gorg with the beads and the bell. And then some is a kwak tradition, and some use both. Like my house, we use both. My societe, we use both. Because my godmother, her parents were from both the mountains and from the south, the northern part of Haiti. So in different regions of Haiti, they'll use different tools. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Do what feels right to you when you do a spiritual cleanse. Spiritual cleansing is either like ritual baths, bathing in water that's infused with salt, herbs, teas, crystal vibrations. Also, bathing in ocean or river water, it does the trick. Like, honestly, that's what a lot of people do, especially in Haiti and Africa, even in India. They bathe in the rivers. They bathe in natural water that naturally washes away. Think about the currents. They literally work with that. So that it's really that simple. Smudging is using air. It's using smoke from herbs to cleanse one's aura, including like sage, cedar, rosemary, sweetgrass, palo santo. Palo santo is a holy wood that they use in Central and South America. And there's other herbs, etc., to use with that. Also crystals, everyday crystals like amethyst, quartz. Quartz kind of amplifies things, so I don't tend to say use quartz unless you're cleansing on a regular basis. But good protective stones would be like tiger's eye, hematite, black tourmaline. So, and those are just to name a few. Amethyst is a good solid one as well. So a self-cleansing ritual, to continue this, it could also be bonfires. A lot of people don't realize, but back in the day, especially in European cultures, that's what they used. Passing through two bonfires or leaping over a bonfire is to cleanse oneself. Of course, be careful. Don't, you can catch yourself on fire and get hurt severely. It is safer to pass a candle around one's body from head to foot. So I will tell you, and I will actually show you, and it can be this simple. So you can take a simple white candle like this. It's like the emergency candles that you can get. Okay. You take it, you go 3 times counterclockwise around the head, 3 times, and you go down. And this is to absorb any negativity, any ill will, any magic, any negativity, evil eye, anything that could be harmful, spirits, all the way down. You just go in downward strokes. And you do it to the bottom of your feet. And then you'll just hold it on the top of your head, like on your crown. I don't know if you can see. And then just burn it. You would do that. And you could roll this around the space. If you ever needed like a quick cleanse, is roll it around the space and then burn it. You can burn it outside if you can't burn it on the inside, because of course, you're trying to preserve the relics. So you could burn this like out on campus. You know what I mean? So you could do that. Absolutely. And what this does is basically it sends it back to the divine mind or God to basically to give it to the divine. If there's any negativity, anything being sent, any negative spirits, it's out of there. It's away from you. That's what that's for. So you have blessing with asperging or holy or blessed waters. So basically asperging is taking like a pine or some use like the cat of nine tails, and they'll take it and they'll kind of flick it in the 4 directions to cleanse. And they usually pray while they're doing that. So there's that way. There's also just focusing energy, like imagining a space having a golden white light going through the whole energy. You could do that. So also sacred space and home cleansing rituals. We've talked about smudging, which is smudging's one sacred space with home with sacred herbs can rid one's space of negative energies and spirits. Don't forget to open a few windows. You have to open either the back door, have the screen door open, or open a window to let the negativity and all that out. So you got to allow it. It's got to go somewhere. So asperging, again, is a branch of rosemary or rue, or something like I described, the cat of nine tails. Dip it in the holy water, bless it, sprinkle it about the house to rid of negative energy. Floor washes and sweeps. This method cleanses the floor of negative vibrations by infusing purifying herbs in the mop water, or by sprinkling and purifying the herbs on the floor and then sweeping or vacuuming it up. So, and I will say, depending on what herbs you're using, you need to be careful because they can clog up the vacuum. So I do tell people that. Sprays and spritz. So you have, similar to asperging, Some people can't burn, so you can make a spritzer of like lavender and rosemary and eucalyptus to cleanse and heal the space. And this is fairly a new technique, but it does work. So to continue with it, you can use sound, like the sound of the rattle. You can go to each of the four corners and you would, do your prayer, and you could cleanse with the sound. You can use essential oils and diffusers. There's many different oils that can help clean out the home. Cleansing with light. Are you the kind of person who sits in the dark when the sun is shining outside the window? Open up the curtains. That's why sometimes, like especially in spring, they would just, I remember my mammal, she would just open up the windows. Like she would just open everything up. We'd do deep cleaning. And that was to get everything out that had been stored during the winter time. Now we didn't talk about it, but that's what it was. That's pretty much what it was. We were getting all of that out, and it sends low negative entities out running, because like if you fight, that all goes in the corners, like fighting, bickering, yelling, that all, like all the elders have told me, that goes in the corners. So it goes and it tries to come back. And that's why sometimes you can have a very chaotic house, not intentionally, but all it takes is one good fight and there you go. And if you have kids, well, kids can be, they could be a fight in themselves. Sweeping. Many witches, occultists, even ATR practitioners, and when I say ATR, it's African tradition, they will use a spiritual broom, like it could be a cinnamon broom that you can get at the store, that is specifically to just sweep out the energy, not literally to sweep, but you'll just kind of coast it along, brush the walls. It does take time to cleanse, but that's the whole point. You want that time. So it's also used to clean your aura and the aura of your space. Like if you a practitioner can use it for like their altar and cleanse out their altar and stuff. So crafting your own personal cleansing ritual. Once you've tried a few different techniques, you can, with various cleansing tools, you can find something that's right for you and change it up, because it's good to have a variety of things that work for you. You will find the ones that feel best for you, and it will come naturally to time, and where you barely have to think about it. I wanted to keep this short and sweet, so this is the last slide. Well, okay, no, it's not. So when to perform cleansings. We've covered why it's important to cleanse oneself in space, but not exactly to perform them. So here's the best basic guide. Once a month on the waning or new moon, cleanse your space. Okay? Plain, simple, nice, easy going. After illness, injury, death, or misfortune in the home, cleanse your space and yourself. At the start of a new season, cleansing rituals are traditionally performed to bring new, fresh energy. Okay? Before any major, and when I say new season, like fall, spring, winter, but it also could be after New Year's. It's always good to start that new. So before any magical workings, if you are a practitioner, after visitors have left the home or upon new residents moving, and even especially if you have a new baby, clean the house. Okay? Cleanse yourself for routine spiritual maintenance at least once a week. But I mean, literally every morning, when I'm taking a shower, I will literally envision the water being cleansing any negativity away from me. So literally you could do it every day and keep up your maintenance. So that's up to you. Whenever you feel the atmosphere is in the home is heavy or emotions are running supercharged, cleanse yourself in your space. That's when I tell people, I'm like, if things start feeling off in that space, cleanse it. That's all you got to do. So that was the last slide. So that's really what I would suggest. Okay. Do we have any questions?
Are there any questions or?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
I don't know where the microphone is.
Somewhere.
Right there.
You mentioned doing a floor sweep with herbs, which I think would be the most environmentally friendly for trying to keep a place stable.
Mhm.
Any herbs you would recommend, especially for African-based objects?
The first thing that I saw was bay. Bay is good. Basil is good, believe it or not. Basil is really good for keeping out negative spirits and entities, lower vibrational entities, or just like loose energy. Rosemary's excellent, to be honest. You have to understand there's Haitian herbs, but you can't get here. You just can't. So use what we have here. Rosemary, sage is always good. You could do a floor sweep with that. Even salt, just brushing a little bit of salt. Now, if it's carpet, be careful with the salt, because if you're gonna have to vacuum up, it could tear up your vacuum. So that's why I'm like, use salt if you can. If not, if it's a hardwood floor or like tile would be best with salt. Go ahead and do it. Mix it with the herbs, pray over it. You could do like Psalms 23. If you don't know that one, it's the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You should pray over that, because that's good for protection, but it's also good for just a general all around blessing. So I tell people, like, if you don't have like a Psalms or a Bible verse that's calling to you, go ahead and do the Psalms 23. Okay. So yeah, I mean, rosemary, basil, bay would be good. Bay would be really good for that. Sandalwood would even be good. If you think about it, frankincense, myrrh, if you can, if you can afford that, that's fine. So yeah, those would be the herbs that I would suggest.
The question is, are there any herbs that you should not combine or use together?
No, for protections, the ones that I did, no. I mean, you should be fine with it. So if you're just doing the basic cleansing, the ones that I listed, like eucalyptus is for healing, and it's also good for keeping out negativity. Sandalwood's really good. Frankincense, myrrh, salt, of course, I told you that. The bay is really good. I mean, all those work very well together. So it's what you're being pulled to. So if it doesn't resonate, then just don't use it.
So
Okay.
how effective is sage? Is that similar to sweeping with the herbs? Because sage is removing negative energy as well, correct?
Yes, but it's also expansion, because that's a lot of people don't realize is that when the American Indians used the sage, they did it in a ceremony where normally they would use cedarwood, tobacco, and I believe even mugwort, along with the tobacco, and there were stages. So the sage does get rid of the negativity, but it also expands and can actually create, if you're not aware, and add up the other elements. That's why sometimes you do the research. But if you're in a pinch and you need sage, use it. Just be mindful. Watch the environment. Does it feel better? Does it not? Did it stir up stuff? Because sometimes that can offend spirits that aren't familiar to it. Because I don't know if anybody's burnt sage, but it can smell like pot. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize it until I had friends that were like, oh, you know what that smells like? And I'm like, no, because I don't do it. So they were like, yeah, it kind of smells like, and I'm like, huh, okay. I didn't know. I was like, to me, it just smelled like burning herb. But yeah, with sage, just be careful. Just see how the environment does. If not, then I would go, if it did stir up anything or offend any spirits, apologize to the spirits. And then I would do a sweep or burn something else like rosemary or basil.
Okay.
Cedar is also a really good one to use for protection.
Any other questions? No. So we don't have any other questions. Should we pause for a moment to move into the cleanse, or what do you suggest that we do? Because we have the objects over there, and well, you can't see them, but they're near you, under the TV that you're being projected on. So just let us know what you need. I have the volunteers.
Okay. While we we'll start. Sorry guys, I had to get a drink. Why don't we go ahead and start? We'll go in the north. So whoever wants to work the different elements, we can do that.
Okay.
We'll start in the north.
Would it be good to have one person per direction?
Probably.
Okay. So I guess whoever. So Wendy and Paula and Tracy. Bill, would you like to? Okay. So we have our 4. I guess, should I just assign a direction, or they select which one they want, or you?
Just select which one that they feel called to use.
Okay. Any? Well, I think she'll instruct us, but you have to maybe first pick, do you want north, east, west, or south? I'll take west. Okay, west and
That's the water.
east. East.
East is air.
So you switch to south? Or you're west?
Paula
Okay,
said
west, east. Oh, Paula said south, and south is,
Okay. South is the fire.
and then north?
North is a stone or earth, anything earth.
Okay, okay. Okay, so whichever direction you would like to start with, we'll have that participant come up to the.
Okay.
Okay, she'll let us know. I think. And you'll let us know which objects we need to grab, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to go ahead and kind of shake the rattle a little bit to clear the energy, to set the intention, and to kind of let the spirits know I'm getting ready to start. And then I'll set like space. That's the intention right now. And I'll visualize the energy going, since I've seen the space, I can visualize the energy going in and creating a boundary almost, okay, or a circle. Okay, we're creating that sacred space. So after that, we will start addressing the elements to bring in peace. And I will also set the intentions of what I'm doing. Does anybody have water and a candle?
We have water, yes, and a candle. Now, are you wanting us to place the objects in the overall room, or just in the cage? Directionally in the big room? Or
Honestly, I feel like it needs to be the room, because the energy is kind of like encompassed in the whole room. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have water, and we don't have a real candle, but we have the.
Just use the LED light. It'll be fine. It's just the whole symbolic. So I'll need like Christine or somebody to hold that while somebody has the earth element to ask the spirits and the ancestors to please, We bring in the earth to help nurture, to help heal, to help, this is the stuff that we'll do. Okay.
And the earth element is the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tracy, maybe.
Okay. So north is the rock. What items do you have to make sure that I know?
We have water, the LED candle, the rock, the stick, and feather.
Okay. So when I get to the fire, we'll need somebody to hold the water. And then west is the last direction. So that bowl of water that's kind of been traveling the whole circle is going to go into the west position. Does that make sense? Okay. So when we get to the south, I'll have you put the stick down, because wands can be represented of fire because they're what start fire. So people see that as growth, as spirit. That's how we associate it. Okay. East is the feather, it's air. North is earth. Okay. So this is just honoring and kind of bringing in balance. Like, you have spirits here that are ancient, that have been kind of laid dormant, and sometimes they feel disrespected. They're not meant to just sit. But you know what? Things evolve, things happen, and it's just showing them respect. And that's all we're here to do today. And to try to create a peaceful environment for you and for them. So, anybody have any questions?
No, but our one LED candle is not working. I don't know, it's new, but it's not working. So is it okay if it's just symbolically?
It'll be fine. It's all in the intention, really, honestly.
Okay, we got it working again. So. Okay.
It goes on and on.
All right. So that's what we're getting ready to do. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll basically set space, and then I'll set the intention to let the spirits know what's going on, so they just don't look at you kind of like, what's going on? Because sometimes it's not always that simple, So all right. Everybody, I want you guys to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another thing that they're showing me, and I'm just going to tell you this. When you present in the corner, you will hold the object up before you place it down. And when you do it, when you present it upwards, like in that direction, you'll make a sign of the cross. Okay? And there's a reason for it. In the African traditions, the cross represents the four corners of the universe. Okay, so it's kind of like where the middle point where things manifest and begin. So what you're doing is you're bringing in the healing, you're bringing in that nurturing to them as you're doing it. Does that make sense? So I'm teaching you a little bit about, so now you understand, like sometimes when you're in a Catholic church and they go, in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, they're kind of bringing in the forces to kind of bring in that sanctuary. Okay. So now you kind of have a little bit of an understanding. So, all right. Are we ready?
Should they be holding their objects whichever direction?
Yeah, that's fine. They could go ahead and do that. And then if they want to kind of get set up in their space, they can go ahead and do that. So, and thank you all for helping me. I really appreciate it.
This is the middle.
This is one thing. So north is here, south is over here. Whoever south will be east is this way.
We need to be in the room with the.
I thought
She
south
wants
is
to
that
go
way,
in
guys.
If really?
East is that way.
Yes.
Are you guys sure about that?
That's north.
We have a compass.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, that's north. That's Web City.
North is close to that. That's northeast.
Well, but our compass is
That's what I
north.
said. I really think that's east.
Yeah. That's north.
No,
Yeah,
no, it's not.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hey, hold on,
No,
Mandy, we're
that's
gonna
not a
figure it out.
south door.
Right.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on, our
east.
compass is not working.
Yeah, I mean, that's south, that's west, that's north. I'm east.
Pretty much that's, that wall
So
is
you need
north,
to
right?
go either to the end or to the.
It also
I'm not-
doesn't
that's
have to
right.
be that.
Yeah,
It
Are you-
doesn't-
you're south, so
Oh,
you're,
you're south,
then
so
you're
you're on
down
that side.
there.
So how far, I mean, how far do you want us to be here?
Maybe just down. There's a compass on my phone. Should we get a compass?
I'm wondering, should they be in the room with the objects or just in this overall?
I would say go ahead and go into the room with the object. If it's that,
Yeah.
if you get in there, I would do it.
Yeah,
Because that's the main area that you want to be for Pete.
I think
Now,
that's,
if you,
so you're south, east, west, north. pretty much.
Okay, so north is kind
Roughly.
of in that,
Oh,
okay,
well, yeah, you're right.
okay.
You're right.
South is
So-
kind of in that corner
So
back
you're
there.
north over there.
No, I'm west. So, yeah, so we're just across. And then, no, but it's more diagonal. Yeah, it's more diagonal. So that's probably. So east is gonna go back.
No, that's probably good right there, Jill, don't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
And
Yeah, yeah.
and I think she wants you in the bigger room if there's.
I thought she said to move in here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Do you
I
want, so
just
you
asked
do
them
want
to-
them in the cage or do you want them in the bigger room? If the direction is,
if the direction's in there, go ahead and do it in the room.
okay, so yeah, it's only if you're, so you'd probably be outside of the cage over there.
well, she said inside of the room with the objects, right?
Okay, so I should probably be out.
Yeah. So
Right.
diagonal.
I'll be here by this.
Yes.
Ask her if she wants south to have the flame and the stick.
And do you want south to have the flame and the stick?
Okay, what I was gonna say is the next thing that you need is somebody to hold the flame and the bowl of water, okay? Until you get to the west, and then the person for the west can do what they need to do. But the person to do, it's a way for you to allow the healing to come in.
Okay.
So you'll be with each object with the bowl and the flame. Does
Okay,
that make sense?
I see. Okay, okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, I think you gotta go out there. Sorry, we're just having to take a minute to reorient.
You're fine. You're fine. I expected,
You be in that back corner.
I expected this. This would have even,
Over here, right?
Okay, yeah.
all right. Thank you,
Okay.
guys.
So we do have someone with a bowl and the flame right
Okay.
now. Okay, okay, so sorry, we'll have to start again.
All right. I ask in the name of the goddess, God, and Great Spirit. I ask the Great Spirit at this time to create a space that is sacred, that is peaceful, that is harmonious, and to keep out all harmful energies, spirits, and entities. To set a sacred space where peace and harmony and movement may be between this world and the next. Only that that I call in may enter. I ask the ancestors, known and unknown, that are willing to work with us at this moment. We thank you for all that you have sacrificed and all that you do, all that you have done. We thank you for making your presence known and your knowledge, us acknowledging you. We mean you no harm. The people that work with you on a daily basis, they just want to pay respect and to give you a peace offering, to heal and allow knowledge and love to continue, so you are not forgotten. Okay. Please join us. We start in the north. We call upon the element, earth. We ask the guardians, we ask the forces of earth to nurture, to heal, and to bring peace to these ancestors that are here so they may rest in power and in peace. Amen. Go ahead and present the stone to the north and present it in the cross, starting up, go down to the left and to the right. We present this for the element of north. Amen. Okay. Go ahead and present it in that north corner for right now. We move to the east. And we ask the guardians and the forces of the element of air to bring intellect, to bring knowledge, to bring communication, and allow the knowledge and the research to be known and recognize who you are, where you came from. We ask the element of air to help bring these ancestors in harmony, peace, and rest in power. Amen. We raise it up, down, to the left, and to the right. We bless it and we say thank you. Ashe. Ashe means basically amen. Go ahead and present it to the east. We thank you. We go to the south.
Okay. Can you hear in there, Paula?
As we're in the south, we call upon the guardians and elements and forces of fire. to bring inspiration, to bring healing, to feed and to show will to the spirits, to the ancestors of this collection, so they may rest in peace and harmony and in power. Ashe. Go ahead and raise it to the south, up, down, like the cross, like you would in church, to the left and to the right. Ashe. Go ahead and present it, and you can lay it on the altar if you want. Let's go to the west. Thank you. We provide and we come to and call upon the element, the guardians, the forces of West, the element of water. We ask for inspiration, for healing, for creativity. Allow the smooth waters, the cooling waters to keep peace, to keep love and inspiration to these ancestors and to this space. May the ancestors here and the spirits here rest in power, peace, and harmony. Ashe. Go ahead and raise it up to the west. Start at top, down, to the left, and to the right. Thank you. And you can set it on the floor if you want. At this time, we thank the ancestors, we thank the spirits of this collection. Allow you to rest in peace and harmony. Know that you are being respected. Know that they mean no harm. And they want to work in harmony with you. From this moment on, there is nothing but peace and love between us and you. Ashe. I release all guardians and forces from this space. Thank you. Go if you must, stay if you will. Thank you. The protection is set. All right. When you are ready, you can take each of the elements back to the altar and place it in the direction on the altar that you guys have. But the ritual is done. I don't know if you guys can tell a difference in the space. I feel more at peace with everything going on. But does anybody have any questions? Did you have any sensations or anything when things were going on? So I do see that I had a question from an anonymous attendee wanting to know more about the voodoo. So honestly, books, you can only have so many resources. A good book is by, it's called Haitian Voodoo by Mambo, I call her Mambo T, but it's Chi Tananan. I'll put a reference to the book. Also, if you did want to learn or take any classes of the voodoo, we do have at my site at theoccultmasterclass.com. You could go there, and there is some recordings. The classes are $40, but you have them for you for as long as the site's up. Which we don't. Right now, it's live. You could go there, and my godfather, Hoodoo Samoise, he is down in New Orleans. He has some wonderful classes there that you can learn about the voodoo. He has a couple actually. So you could go from there. You could even contact him. He is on Facebook as well. And if you have any questions, I can try to answer them, or I will send you to him. So you can find me on Facebook as well, or on Instagram. So there are some good books. Maybe I can get Christine, we can list on there for you. So.
Right.
You know, conjure.
I have a question for you. How long would a good cleansing last? And assuming that we keep the space clean and the artifacts well preserved, how long would we have until we would need to do it again?
I usually typically say a year maybe, but it could go longer. Like it just see how they do it. If you keep it on a regular basis and you're honoring, it may last for a while, it may last for a couple of years. It just see how they do. I usually tell people, but normally a year. I mean, you don't need to have us out, have me out or anybody else out for a while. I don't think. If you keep on the cleansing, you'll be good.
We do have a question.
Okay.
So we placed the 4 objects in the altar area.
Mhm.
But we still have some objects from like the fruit and the second bowl of water. Should we put that somewhere else so that it's not so cluttered?
Yes.
Should we create a second altar? I mean, is that okay if we have
Do
2?
that. Yeah.
Maybe we could put it where we have the other rocks and feathers and stick. Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you need to bless these other objects or bless that altar?
Good.
Okay. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay.
No, I mean, and that's the thing is when you do a cleansing, it doesn't have to be complicated, but if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And Dr. Bentley, you know how to get a hold of me. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for joining. Thank you. It's supposed to be that simple. So, and not so scary.
Is there anything else that we could do besides having someone come out to just, I mean, I'm not sure that we can sage in here, but what could we do that's easy? Do the sweeping?
Sweet. Mhm.
Could you combine cedar with salt?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm assuming we could diffuse though, right? That's pretty, okay.
Yeah, you could diffuse. You could, depending on the oil, what oils you use, like the citrus oils are very cleansing. You could do, if you do doTERRA, you could use On Guard. That's a protector. And it's also good for immunity. If you also, they're purify, it purifies the air. You could do that. Just make sure lemongrass is really good for cleansing as well. So I'm trying to think of local herbs that you could use. Like you could do a mixture of basil. You could do some lemongrass. You could do salt mixed in there, even some lavender, rosemary. I'm trying to think of fresh things that if you wanted to, you could go and get. So.
Okay, yeah, we could have fresh herbs.
Mhm.
Okay.
So what kind of scents did you get during the ceremony?
What was that? I'm sorry, hon.
What kind of scents did you have during the ceremony? So that it felt lighter to you?
It did feel lighter. It felt like at peace. They understood that you were trying to make a connection with them, even though, and just to show them respect, which for them, that's really what they wanted. If you think of the culture, they are much about respect and honor, and, you know, they don't always see eye to eye, but they do try to live in peace. They do try to work with one another. And if their line is crossed, that's usually when things kind of bump heads. So, you know, you may want to take a minute and just see, like, do I need to move anything? You know, what's going on? Or, you know, did I mishandle something? Did I accidentally bump into something? Because it could be something as simple as that. I mean, seriously. So just know that, you know, some of these, they do have spirits on them, and they can be a little fickle, you know, and just apologize. I know it feels funny sometimes when you're looking at an object and you're like, I'm wanting to say I'm sorry to you, and I don't know why. Like, you know, if you ever get to an object and you get pulled to something and you're like, I don't know what you're wanting. I don't know. And you can say that, like, I don't know. So whoever's working with these items, you know, you can definitely, you know, if you get pulled to one and you're like, no, I don't know it, you know, because they do come from different tribes and regions. So
We do have a question about the plastic. Since we just did the cleanse, should we keep the plastic up for a bit?
just for a little bit, not you don't have to keep it up. Like, just let them air breathe a little bit.
Okay, like a couple days or just?
No, I mean, literally, you could do 30 minutes.
Oh,
It's whatever is complimented. Yeah, it's whatever.
Should we open the plastic every now? I mean, we do anyway, just for ventilation purposes, but.
Yeah, I would do it like on, if at least weekly, you know, if you can do it. I mean, I don't know how busy you guys are, so just to keep the energy from stagnating.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, is just think about circulation and energy and kind of think of how it moves. So, okay.
Are there any other questions? I do.
Oh,
Okay.
Paul's going.
Did you have a sense that there is something that should be improved at this present time? Did you hear that?
The biggest thing that I sensed is I did sense that there was some like land spirits conflicting with some of the item spirits. So it's kind of like, they're like, what are you doing here? I don't know. You know, you have to understand that sometimes the way I see the spirit world is it's a lot like here, but sometimes they don't know why they're where they're at. Does that make sense? So they're kind of like, I don't know. And if they don't clash and they're not from the certain area, it can cause friction, not even meaning to. So now I feel like there's peace. I feel like there's been some cleansing. I feel like, you know, you guys have had a lot of shifts in this area, in this side of the building. So, you know, it was good to get all of that out. That's what I was seeing. So they're a lot at ease. So, and I feel like you guys worked a lot, and there was a lot of shifting when you did get this exhibit. And I feel like, you know, these pieces have came in over time, and then sometimes it's frantic sometimes because you have so much to do and not always the time to do it. So just know that your energy and there's the way everything comes out, it can all affect. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I sense some land spirits, but I'm like, really, they're harmless. So they're just tied with the land. So yeah. But other than that, you're good.
Good. Are there any other questions? Thank you. I think we're going to clap because we did the last.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored. So
We'll be in touch if we still have to resolve some admin stuff.
okay. All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.